My name is Caleb Santa Monica, and I have bipolar type 1. It's kind of like, it makes me nervous to talk about it, because in the back of my mind, I'm always thinking, I guess about, my reputation as a person who's not so very outspoken about stuff like this, but my background, I finished high school, did a little bit of college, but I got diagnosed in 2017, and I was about 17 years old around that time. And one of the things that I have got to just get off my chest is one of the hardest things about bipolar is the desire not to speak about it. And I've had probably 4 major manic episodes in my life, and it's not fun. As a matter of fact, it's kind of like you just put a pause on your life for at least a couple months after each manic episode. And then not only that, a lot of people around you, they also are under a lot of hardship because of your bipolar. And the reason I'm speaking about this is maybe there's someone who might be in a similar footsteps as mine, but I'm just gonna be absolutely as truthful as possible with my experience with it. So the first thing I want to address is first getting diagnosed and why I got diagnosed. Back in 2017, it was around December, but there was a point where I stopped sleeping through the night, and I remember vividly, at some point, my dad was just getting really upset. He was like, just shut up and go to bed, just don't, and I guess, one thing is, in that state of mind, I was feeling like I was chosen for a great calling. Doesn't mean that I'm not, but at the same time, it's kind of a more idealistic and grandiose thing. So I had a manic episode. The first manic episode I ever had was in Hawaii, which is where I call home. Currently, I'm in Colorado. But the first manic episode I had, I was going to, I guess I walked from my house to Waikiki. And then what I did was I just started trying to wake people up. I was going around places, I was going to people, and I would just stare and watch them. I remember one time, I kind of got this idea from Inception, but I remember one time there's this girl, she was spinning a coin, sitting down in a booth. So I sat right in front of her, and then I took the coin and I spun it, and I said, if this thing keeps on spinning, you're in a dream. And I guess from my viewpoint, I was thinking that either I was the only one awake and everyone else was an NPC, or I was also a part of being an NPC and just trying to get everyone to the level of awoke or awakened state was I don't know, the idea. There was a consistent feeling that I had to chase. This feeling was almost like the guiding map, and occasionally it would speak, and I would say hearing voices is a natural part of a manic episode. So then this voice which still kind of trips me out. But this voice, while I'm in Waikiki, said, take a left, take a right. And then I ended up at this elevator. And then I pressed the highest level. And then when I finally got to the top of the building, it was like a parking lot. And I remember I walked towards near the edge of the parking construction site. And this voice said, jump, you can fly. And then at that point, a part of me kicked in and said, oh, hell no, that's a demon. No, I can't do that shit. Fuck that. So I hurried my way back down. And then I continued to walk the strip in Waikiki. There was this pizza delivery guy from Domino's, and he was on a bike. And so I was like, I'm gonna wake him up and show him anything's possible, because I'm gonna race him, like whatever's, or I don't know. So I ended up running super fast, and I was actually like side by side, and then he saw me, and I could tell that he was freaked out, which I guess I kind of enjoyed in that manic state. And I was straight running, and right beside me was him, like biking fast as fuck, because he's like, this guy looks crazy. Finally it stopped, and then there were these like 2 or 3 guys on a bench. Sorry, I got something in my throat. But there was this guy on the bench, or there's like 2 guys. They kind of look sketch. As a matter of fact, they look like, they kind of, not to be mean, but they just looked like they were a part of a gang. And so what happened was, sorry. Frick. So what happened was, there's these two guys sitting on a bench, and they had all black on, and they were kind of like, I guess they were like playing with something. And then I walked up to them, no fear, nothing, and I just said, hey guys, like, check this out. Like, if I spin this and it continues to spin, which I had a penny. I don't know how I got a penny, but I had this penny, and I was like, watch this. And I like spun it, and it was just spinning and spinning and spinning. I was like, see, we're in a dream. We're like, and I was getting the reference. I got that whole reference from the movie Inception, believing that, the only way to test reality was if I spun that shit, or like I spun a quarter, and if it kept on spinning, it meant we're in a dream. And it spun for actually like quite a good amount of time, and then afterwards it just stopped. And then I was like, okay. And these guys were like, what the fuck? I remember their face, but looking back at it, I'm like, dude, yeah, you guys just met Manic Caleb. So fast forward, I'm walking just aimlessly. And then there was this guy who I was waiting on the side with to cross the street. There was this guy, he was kind of like Fafafinge, like he was kind of like I think he was kind of into dudes. He was just a little gay. Nothing wrong about that. Just do your thing. But like, I remember talking to him briefly, and I guess like for me, what I was saying, it made it sound like I was flirting with him. And maybe I kind of was flirting with him in the manic state. But he then said, do you want to come back to my house and fool around? And then I was like, oh, shit, no, bro, I'm not into that. So then I bolted. And just to kind of give you like a brief description of where it was. This is like a little outside of Waikiki, and there's this Jack in the Box. That's where the next part comes in. So I'm running, and then I don't know why, but when I'm manic, I feel like superhuman. So I just was running, and then I ended up on this strip, this crossroad, and this is kind of a miracle. And I do believe in God. I worship